welcome back. We're in a very glamorous location tonight. Yes, we're on the drive. We haven't been out in Margaux for a few days, so I just thought I'd bring you up to date with everything we've been doing and what we've been up to and the decisions we've made. You will notice that my glamorous assistant Sarah isn't here today. She's fine, don't worry, she's okay. She's just down in London for a couple of days. So she'll be back very, very soon, I'm sure. So last time we spoke, we just finished at the Peterborough show. Margaux had been listed on eBay and we were umming and ahhing, we didn't know what to do. But we are now sat in the van that we're going to keep, and that is Margaux. We didn't think that we'd given it enough time. We've had Margaux since September. Obviously, we've only had 2 outings this year. So we thought, you know what, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's try a little bit harder, see if we can make things work for us. Hopefully be able to overcome those hurdles. But we're just really pleased that we've got Margaux back on the drive. We've got a few bits and pieces that we're looking at doing. Having been at the Peterborough show, we're looking at getting some hydraulic self-levelers fitted. We're also looking at getting maybe some air conditioning fitted and a 5G router, come signal receiver, etc. So when we're out on the road, there might be some work I need to do. So as long as we've got a reliable 5G signal, we should be good. So that's where we're up to at the moment. But the purpose of this video is hopefully to get a little bit of help, please. All you amazingly knowledgeable people out there, as we've said before, and we'll say again, we're very, very novice to all of this. So in one of our previous videos, you'll have seen we went to Clumber Park, we went to Castleton, we went to Knaresborough, and they were lovely. CAMC sites, clean, all the facilities that we want. But really what we want to do is be a little bit more adventurous. Get my words out. Be a bit more adventurous, going a little bit more off-grid and seeing some more sites. Now, unfortunately, I am a planning person. I like to know what's happening next, and I like to have a plan. Whereas I think by doing more of the off-grid stuff, you tend to go with the flow a bit more. Now, that makes me really nervous. So I'm asking for some help, really. If folk out there who have done the whole, you know, let's just go with it, let's just run with it, let's just see where we end up, and how you've actually done that, I would be really, really interested to know. We've got the Britstops books, we've got all the apps and so forth, but is it a case that you just drive and you head somewhere in a general location and then you look at all the apps and you look at the Britstops books and think, right, this is where we'll go? Or do you have a destination in mind? Do you say, well, I'm going to go to North Yorkshire and we want to stay somewhere loosely in this area, but we'll have a drive up and just see what we can book when we get there? Because it's that kind of thing that just makes me a little bit nervous. We want to plan trips to the continent. We've got friends who have done it in their van, and they've been super encouraging, but I would really, really like to get some feedback from the motorhome world out there, just to know, how do we go about it? I don't want to be rigid. I don't want to be planned. I'd love to be flexible and one day say, we'll get to a T-junction. Should we go left or should we go right? Well, there's trees over there and there's mountains over there. Let's do the mountain way. But then what happens if, we're 2 hours into the drive, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's really a case of, do we have to react and ring around? And what if we don't get a campsite? So these are all my little insecurities coming out, but I really need to know how we can really tackle that. So any hints and tips would be really, really gratefully received. We are hoping to go away in May during the half term. Sarah and I work in education. So we're very, very fortunate not only to have this amazing wagon that we call Margaux, but also to have the time to be able to take time out of our jobs to be able to go travelling a little bit. So we're going to try and plan a bit of a trip to France, maybe go from Harwich to the Hook of Holland and then drive through the Netherlands down into Belgium, down into France, and then do a round trip and maybe come back on one of the Brittany ferries. But in the meantime, we want to just have weekends away, spontaneous. I get home from work on a Friday, we jump in Margaux and say, where are we going to go? And it's that kind of thing that is really going to be helpful if people can point me in the right direction. Just as I said, I know it's silly, it's daft and all the rest of it, but I just like to know what's happening. But if I have a bit of a loose plan, or I can get a bit of an idea as to how people plan it, how they activate it, they put the plans into action, that would be absolutely wonderful. So any advice you guys can give, I would be really, really grateful for. We've been watching lots of other bloggers out there and how they do it. John and Mandy, for example, they do amazing things and they just go everywhere. So hats off to them. They've been doing it a long time, and I love watching their videos because it's so informative. Extreme Motorhome Adventures as well. Those guys just do an amazing thing. They seem to have a bit more of a plan, perhaps, or maybe they're just that good at it. They just make it look so very, very simple. So it's things like that I could really, really do with your help with. On another helpful theme, as I said, we were looking at getting the self-leveling systems for Margot. We tend to find that when we do stop, and if there's any movement, if it's windy or, in the middle of the night, if Al's sleeping up here, he turns over, the van tends to wobble a bit. We've looked at the self-leveling systems, and I think they're going to be a really, really great asset for Margot. Obviously, it's going to add value, but also it's going to do a really good job of stabilising, helping the chassis, helping the tyres. So if you've had them fitted, and you have a preferred supplier or a preferred type, whether it's a single pump, a quad pump on each jack leg, I would be grateful if you could just let us know. What are your recommendations? Who would you go to? What did it cost? Would you recommend them? All that kind of thing. As I said, we're very, very novice, and we could do with this information, and then we'd love to share it with other people as well. So if you have any insights, if you've had any light bulb moments or anything like that, you will be massively, massively grateful for your input. So I won't rabbit on much more. Sarah would normally be interjecting at this point or nudging me to say, shut up, you're boring now. Another reason for Margot staying is, again, we're exceptionally lucky to be able to have a van like this. And we take none of that for granted. It is a lovely, lovely piece of kit, and we are very, very lucky. We went out and we had a look at other vans, and even some of the older Carthagos, lovely as they are, they weren't quite as nice as Margot. Margot's been kept in an amazing condition. When we bought her, we'd seen loads. But to find something to replace her would have cost us probably about 50 grand extra over and above this. So we have just counted our blessings that we're very fortunate to have Margot, and we're going to give her another try. So if you've got any hints and tips about travel, about tech, about gadgets, about self-leveling or 5G networks or anything like that, please, I would be really, really grateful for some input. Please comment down below. I would like to point out that I had said that before, but my comments were turned off. So I apologise for that. So please feel free to comment, good, bad or indifferent. I've got broad shoulders, it's fine. If there's a format that you think we should be following, please suggest it. Happy to listen, but also happy to help other people who are starting out on their journeys. So from a very, very chilly Lincolnshire, sat on our drive in a reasonably toasty Margot, I'll sign off. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. If you're novice like us and you want to have any questions you want answering, and you want us to ask them for you as well, please shout. More than happy to help. So it's goodbye for now, and we'll be back in touch very, very soon with some updates, maybe about taking a really scary unplanned route. See you later.